at 10, sparring club 11 to 1. Oh shit. Oh, we're doing it live now.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, no, I got this podcast with you to start the day. Got 10 a.m. shooting some videos with Evan. Hopefully I didn't fuck that up. I'm pretty sure I told him, hey, let's meet here. And then I got sparring club 11 to 1. I got some phone calls to make with people, and then that's my Sunday, man. I'll spend the rest of the day just making phone calls. Probably get some good berries, treat myself to something.
Yeah, yeah. Get some good berries after what a crazy week it seems like. But I don't know what happened this week. But the way you were texting me,
Well, yeah, I
it
mean, we'll
felt
we'll
like a
keep a lot of
crazy
stuff
week.
like under wraps. We're still sorting out a lot of stuff, but
Okay.
there's something that like I tell young people because I'm so fucking old now, is like, hey, be careful of the highs because they got lows.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like you get those peaks and then you're like, oh shit, you start chasing that dragon a bit, like, oh, what's next? And then like that dreadful like low comes out of nowhere. But
yeah,
like that's normal. That is just human nature. But then there's the times of like, hey, sometimes lows just happen. Sometimes bad shit, it fucking happens. But as soon as it's happened, it's over. And the good thing about learning about like low points or bad things that happens in life is that once you kind of have that thing happen, you realize, all right, this moment is over, and all you have is what's next. You know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
really, like Monday was like a moment that sucked and was heartbreaking, and then like you still just keep sifting through. So it always kind of keeps bringing you down a little bit, but then you also happen to be like building a gym on top of it, restructuring a business on top of it, bringing in new bags that some people fuck up on top of it, and you got to focus on like what you have ahead of you. And I think the great thing about this week is how fucked up Monday was, how even kind of still fucked up Friday was. But at the same time, it was like small moments. But then like what happened Friday was magical. Or not Friday. Sorry, I ruined my speech. No, Saturday. Like what happened
okay.
Saturday
Yeah,
was
yeah,
was was fucking magic. I think I've been running on like a couple hours of sleep a night since July 4th. But like, if anyone knows me, like a couple hours of sleep a night is I'm pretty good at that. But like July 4th, I fucked up my back. Like I fell asleep like on the couch armrest,
Oh my
and
God.
like and I did like I'm old as shit, so of course I can't sleep on a couch anymore. I'm not in my 20s, but like the way I fell asleep, like if I was just sitting in the couch this way watching TV, I fell
Yeah.
asleep like over the fucking armrest.
Oh my God.
So I was fucking walking around like some fucking Giga Chad with his chest stuck out, fucking peacocking and shit because my back was so fucked. And then yeah, so like it just felt good to have a lot of sleepless nights come to a head. And I think last night I got like 5, 6 hours straight of sleep, so that felt pretty good. But you know, what happened Saturday is something that I keep telling people I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Like even before like owning a martial arts school, I just tell people it's like, hey, I've always wanted to create something that can help create opportunities and moments for people to take them to what's next or show
Yeah,
people what's next. And man, yeah, Saturday it was great. Got here early, had a full house.
yeah. For
We
people
had
that don't
people that,
know, what
I'm sorry, dude.
happened
Yeah, I
Saturday for
fuck
people that
me.
don't know.
Yeah, the people that don't know, it is. Oh yeah, people don't know. I forget. We're not just talking and catching up. Um, yeah, this past Saturday we had the very first WKA event in North Carolina.
Come on, man. I saw the videos on Instagram. It was a packed house. Everyone, the vibes looked really good. The competition looked good.
Man, the competition was great. The vibes were immaculate. Um, yeah, like went off without without any kind of hitch. Very blown away with Brian Crenshaw and the team that he has. I met Brian Crenshaw. Like those are some of the first big tournaments I started cornering at with the WKA Nationals. God, forever ago. I mean, it's over a decade ago that I was cornering at his shows. And if there's one thing I like about Brian is that he definitely has learned from previous mistakes and now created like new layers to build a better foundation.
Huh.
Like when you think about, like we talk about, like we've talked about it with this place, building a foundation, and that's why the business has grown like it has. Well, with Brian, it's like he built a good foundation, and then he realized like, oh, he could build some better like subframes to support that foundation even more, and he's definitely doing that with the scrimmage.
Mhm.
Um, the way he educates officials, the way he educates people in the crowds and stuff like that. The communication was spot on, and you really got to see something special. You got to see a lot of people level up. So what Brian Crenshaw is doing with the WKA, it makes sense. I dig it. I'm on board. Some people came in we were the only school from North Carolina here.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
The,
So many people traveled for this, huh?
dude, yeah, we're the only school from North Carolina. I mean Raleigh, not from North Carolina. The homies from 8 Points came through. It was great to see them.
Yeah,
I got to see Coach EK in action. EK brought some dudes up from Greenville.
nice.
Fucking EK is like going nuts, jumping, and I'm like, oh shit, look at Coach EK. Like, look at that go. But yeah, yeah, only school here in Raleigh. Everyone else is kind of like familiar, I guess, the WKA format, or they're more familiar like other sanctioning bodies, in-house events. But yeah, we were the only school from Raleigh here, and I can't wait for the next one. You know, I've had a lot of people reach out, but even like me, man, I don't always jump off the cliff first. I don't mind going second, but there
Yeah.
are certain times where I'm like, I can jump, I can go do that. Like, I got
Yeah.
this. Like, let me show you guys like what I see down here at the bottom. It's pretty good. And yeah, I feel like I'm really rambling, but there's nothing new about that. We got a lot to unpack. We're gonna unpack a lot of stuff over the next hour, I'm sure. I keep forgetting it's only 9:10 here.
Yeah, what is it? The bags, the custom bags to set up?
No, what I mean, like unpack, I mean unpack about yesterday. Like there's a
Oh
lot to
yeah.
like talk about with it. And I realize, I don't have any notes. I'm just kind of fucking pop up the phone and
Yeah,
just start talking.
well, I have
So,
a couple questions. What was it like setting
yeah,
it
yeah.
up?
Well, yeah, I got a lot of stuff to unpack, and we'll definitely keep talking about like what happened with the Saturday event here. But for it being the first event, I can already see the future, and the future looks good. I know that
Yeah.
there's going to be hiccups. It's not my first rodeo. I got a really good team around me that's going to help keep and making these future events better. So, yeah, man, we'll definitely probably circle back to that at some point. But right now, how's Anish? How's Anish feeling? Anish feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. So,
Yeah.
a series of unfortunate events happened, but really, I can look back. It could be a blessing. We'll see. But
Yeah.
basically, what happened was last week. Well, today's Sunday, so not this week, but the week before that. One of the trainers, he was a little sick, and he has a fight coming up and all this, so he's like training and stuff. But then he took a couple of days off. He came back at the end of the week, and I heard him I just overheard him talk to one of the students that he still has a little fever, but I was like, okay, yeah, it's no problem. Like I've trained sick before; it's not a big deal at all. Like he has a fight he's got to get ready for, and he didn't hold pads for me. But then I did notice that weekend I had a slight cough, very very slight, nothing crazy. And I was like, all right, but it was so slight that I didn't even it didn't even register in my mind. Like I forgot about it when Monday came around. Then Monday
Yeah.
I trained in the morning, normal training session. The training sessions have been really good all the way up until Monday. I'll
You
tell
were
you.
looking really sharp on that new pad work video. I was like, oh, there it is. Hell yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's good to see the improvements. Yeah.
Yeah, because on Monday I hurt my back, but before that, the last 4 weeks straight, I was doing 2 a days every day, like not missing any days, like the runs every morning. Like I was just so dialed in. I was feeling really good. Like I was super excited to fight. And so I was in really good shape. Like things were all going really good. And they still are, honestly. I think things are still going good. But Monday, the morning session was good. Then the afternoon session was probably the toughest mentally that I've had here. Toughest by a lot because
Really.
yeah, it was just it was like one of those sessions where you're just asking yourself why am I doing this? It was a tough session, I'm sure you had lots of those.
Dude,
Yeah.
the fucking pulling yourself through some fucking mud and sticks and shit. And yeah, you just sit there and ask yourself why. But the
Yeah.
why comes at the end. Like
Oh
the
yeah.
why you're doing it comes right after. Yeah, I want to hear more. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely does. So the afternoon session, so I went to the afternoon session. I wasn't sick or anything. I was feeling good. I was feeling sharp. And it was like a Monday too. So I was rested up from Sunday, the start of the week. I was ready to get after it. So the afternoon session comes around. I get paired up in clinching with this one guy who's really good. His name is Otto. He's from Finland. He's only had like one or two fights maybe, but
Yeah.
he's taller. He's tall. He's a tall guy. He's like 6'3" or 6'4". He's like 180 pounds ish, and he's built like Isaac, like a bigger Izzy. The Isaac that
Mhm.
I fought. Yeah, so he's built like that. So he's just like a monster in the clinch. He's pretty dang good, and so yeah, he's good. So I was clinching with him. He was just destroying me. Honestly, like he was like really, really like putting it on me in the clinch, which is good. Like, hey, I'll get better. Like that's how it's kind of been out here the whole time anyway. But he was really putting it on me. The knees were like sharp, and I was like just trying my best to like get in there. But every time we would lock up, he would do the lock that's very common out here. He would put his arm all the way around the back of my head and
Mhm.
lock one side of my head, and then dig his forehead up against my jaw, like really, really like tight. And I was like, obviously, I'm like, all right, cool. So now I can work on getting out of this. But man, it was tight. And I really did. I felt helpless whenever he would lock it up and cinch it and like really like put his chin under my or his forehead under my chin. I was like, shoot, man, this is like so tight. I felt helpless a lot of times. But then he started helping me and it was like, do this, do this. But that position's very dominant, and I'm excited to get back to the U.S. and start using it and practicing it. But I'm still like trying to learn it and stuff like that. But it was
Yeah,
a
and it's a position like Max talks about too, and it's something like I talked to some of you guys about it, where I'm just like kind of always having to work with what we got,
yeah,
and a lot of times we don't like, and I like, man, like with these past couple of years and everything I've had going on, I just go like, yeah, you're right. Like it's like, it gets a bit dicey to sometimes not be able to focus on that thing to be a specialist at. Like, and that is like one of those things that you tend to like recap when it's like, oh yeah, it's like going to jiu-jitsu school that doesn't teach mount. Like, the fuck do you mean you guys don't teach mount? And it's like, oh well, shit. Like we
yeah,
forgot. Like, oh fuck. Like,
yeah.
um,
But I do know
yeah,
a lot of the basics. Like we learn a lot of the swim is really helpful here. It's a great thing I
good.
get into a lot
Yeah,
here.
we have a very basic clinch style because we're having to prepare for like a lot of the stuff around us. And a lot of times when you don't have full rules or like full clinching to get ready for, like some stuff gets left on the wayside.
Yeah, and a lot of elbows and stuff, which we don't. That's not very common at our gym in North Carolina.
Well, at our gym, it's
Well,
it's we're the only school in the area that'll put on elbow pads and spar to
yeah,
get some
exactly,
reps in. Like
exactly.
we're the only gym, but it's like, how often do we have elbow fights in North Carolina?
Yeah,
None.
basically freaking.
But
But
guess what
I
we
don't
had
know.
going on Saturday morning here?
I saw the video. I saw that
Fucking
clip.
elbows, motherfuckers.
Yep, I saw the clip of Hunter throwing elbows, I was like, oh snap! I've never seen elbows being thrown in North Carolina like that. So that's really cool.
Well, we didn't know we could do it until the morning up, and we're like, wait, what? Like y'all allowing full rules for this? Oh shit, game changer! Like literally, I told everyone, I was like, all right, we now have a good format to get you guys ready for full rules Muay Thai. Like that
Yeah,
makes me so happy to see.
yeah. So is it like not allowed in North Carolina to fight full rules? Is that like a thing?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
But the
it's a thing. Like
scrimmage,
they'll allow pro Muay Thai, but there's no like, but it's even then like you have referees and judges that don't fully understand it. So they
yeah,
kind of run like unified Muay Thai or unified kickboxing with elbows as like the rule set for pros.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, that was good. The WK scrimmage, you guys could throw elbows.
But you getting fucked up by Otto. Like, how'd you feel
Yeah,
after that?
dude.
No,
Yeah,
no. Let's go back to you.
it
Let's go back to
was.
you. I like to hear that Anish is over there having a great time at summer camp. Like, let me hear
Yeah,
what Otto did. How'd you feel after Otto? Like, what made sense the most?
yeah, yeah. So, dude, honestly, I felt pretty beat down after that
Pretty
clinch.
like defeated. It's like feeling
Yeah,
like, damn, this dude
yeah.
straight up could have done whatever he wanted to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, like it was like halfway through because it's a 45 to an hour long, 45 minutes to an hour long. So it's not like 20 minutes of clinching. Like no, like it's gonna be like a long time that I was going through that. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this time to work on getting out of this one position because this one position he keeps getting me in. So I like halfway through, I made it my goal. All right, I'm not gonna let him wrap his arm around me and cinch on me. So then I was kind of like just keeping him at distance, like kind of just like throwing shots to the body, like kind of just throwing knees from afar. But he's taller than me and longer than me, and I was really struggling to like those step in knees that I'll throw, like without grabbing on, just step in, throw the knee. He was
Yeah.
able to like back away and like keep his distance, but then he would throw them and they would land flush. And I was like, come on, bro. Like, what am I doing? Like, was my distance like not right or what? So I was like really trying to figure out what I could have been doing better, but it just still wasn't working. So, and then there was a couple times where he swept me like once, like halfway through, but then there was this one time I was coming in to do this step in knee, and he barely touched me. He just put his arm across and timed the sweep perfectly. When one of my knees was coming up, I was on my toes to the other foot, and he just timed it perfectly. And I went like parallel to the floor and then fell on my back. And I fell like some awkward way because it was such a good sweep. It was timed super well. So I got back up and then we kept going. And then we finished up, and then after that, it was time to hit pads. But man, I was definitely feeling defeated, like I hadn't felt out here before. And so kind of took a second. I like just wrapped my hands, and just thought about like, all right, like I'm here to get better and this and that, whatever. I hit pads, I did my pad session. And then after that, I was walking back to the apartment and I noticed like, oh, my back is kind of like hurting, my lower back is kind of hurting me a little bit. I didn't know why. I just thought like, oh, it's normal, like, whatever, it'll heal. But I finished up training. I finished a lot of work between the morning and the afternoon. So I said, you know what? I've got the evening, like 5 o'clock till the rest of the day to kind of do whatever I need to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to a place close by that has a sauna and an ice bath, and I'm gonna recover. And I'm just gonna hit the sauna. I'm gonna hit the ice bath. Whatever is going wrong in my back, hopefully this will fix it. So I showered real quick, and then I called a Grab, which is like Uber, and I went to the place for that. So I get there. I get in the ice bath, I do the sauna, and I go back and forth, and I ended off with 5 minutes in the ice bath, and then I hit the sauna. And then after that, I have a meeting with Harrison, and I come back, and then I feel like pretty good. My back is still hurting. It didn't really help my back like a whole lot, but it helped clear my mind. And then I woke up on Tuesday morning, and then this is where I felt like total shit. I woke up, my back was hurting a lot. But then the worst part was that, remember that coach that was sick before and I had a little cough? The ice bath made it way worse. And I woke up with a fever on Tuesday and cold sweat.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that means that like your body was definitely,
compromised.
yeah, that's the tough thing to figure out is like what's good.
Oh, what the heck? Hello?
Okay, can you hear me? Sorry, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just broke up for a little bit. But I can hear you. So yeah,
yeah. So you think like the ice bath? So it's crazy, like the ice bath and stuff like that stuff I've done in the past. Like if I feel myself getting sick, I would do something like an ice bath and a sauna, and then I would just go rest.
yeah,
So I think what put you to the point of no return was probably like it sounds like the clenching and the pad work is like what put your body like that point of no return. And then like that ice bath and everything was like your body is like, hey, you just gotta recover now. So
yeah. And it
it was
was
probably
cool.
that clenching session is what
Yeah.
overdid your body. Like the ice bath will definitely help your body recover. And I think your body was already crashing down into like that flu like state.
Yeah, and the thing is, I didn't even the sickness, like the little cough I had was so like minuscule that I like forgot about it. Like I didn't even cross my mind. I was like yeah, I'm not gonna get sick because I wasn't sick like at all. But yeah, after the hard session, followed by the ice bath, like the cold, like the shivering, like
Yeah.
the compromised state with like the bacteria or whatever already inside of me. Yeah, I woke up Tuesday and I was just like so beat. Like my back was hurt like really bad. I couldn't like lift one of my feet, like or put like weight on it because like when I would lift it, I'd have to use that back muscle that was just hurt. And then I didn't know why my back was hurt still when I woke up Tuesday. So then I sat down and I thought about it. I was like, okay, why is my back hurt? Like I didn't get kicked in the back. I didn't get kneed in the back. Then it hit me. It was like, oh, it was that one sweep that he did where I landed. Like I must have landed on my back like in a compromised way, but I didn't realize it in the moment. but because it wasn't like just like I snapped anything, it was more like a soreness. So so yeah, I realized that on Tuesday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was all like pretty sick. And then Friday, I started going on morning walks because my back was like slowly getting better. The sickness was slowly starting to go away. And then yesterday was Saturday, a little bit better still, going on the walks, just getting sunlight, getting a sweat going. And then today is Sunday. And I still have like a stuffed nose. I don't even know if you could hear it, but a little bit of a stuffed nose, a
Man,
little
I
bit of cough.
can hear it, but like you sound pretty nasally anyways. Like I'm used to seeing you in the morning where like in the morning, like everyone has the fucking sniffles in the morning. It doesn't matter. Like you wake
Yeah.
up and you're just like that. Like so I hear you with the sniffles and I'm like, oh, it sounds like a niche. I'm so used to seeing you like in the morning time.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I can definitely tell like a little bit. I can hear you're just like like you can hear like the rundownness like in a person when they're talking. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it's been the last week. And my back is like better, but I was like doing some shadow boxing and stuff today, and it was still like there was sometimes I would do something and it would tweak it. And I was like, ooh, that hurt. I don't want to make it worse, but like I was just doing stuff pretty light.
That's the best thing to learn at your age, where you're at, is like rest and recovery are also huge parts of training.
Yeah.
And that is the hardest part to balance. Like it's always easier to train more and train harder, but to rest more, recover more, then it becomes like a detriment. So it's like this
Yeah.
weird fine line of like figuring out like, and it's like you are still figuring out like what can you push your body to do? Like what can your body not do in this scenario? What's going to feel next? What's going to be worse? What's going to be better? So what you're doing right now is like, yeah, you're learning like that other hard part of like becoming a world champion at something. Like, oh shit, how do I deal with these nagging injuries? You know, because every person at a amateur high level world tournament, anyone going to a professional title fight has something going on
Yeah,
and they
for
know how to
sure.
work around it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I figured like, and so that leads into the other thing. I was supposed to fight this Friday. So like
That's right. Oh shit,
5
you had to
days.
pull from that, didn't you?
Yeah, I pulled out of
Oh
that.
fuck, that's a bummer. Ah, that's
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah,
Fuck. Yeah.
yeah, that's
But it
unfortunate.
also means that you are aware that shit, I'm human. I shouldn't fight if I'm sick and injured. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah, that's true. And
Yeah, there's
especially
no
like here,
yeah,
I was just gonna say like especially here because the level is so high. Like I
yeah.
before I hurt my back, like my elbow is like bugging me, my knees bugging me, but it's like those aren't like gonna stop me from training, or it's not like so bad where I can't walk. It's just like, oh, if I hit it this way, then okay, it's gonna hurt. But like, it's not like so bad because everyone like I've been injured going into fights before. It's like normal, right? Because especially if you're training hard, you're not gonna go into every fight 100%. But then when I hurt my back and I got sick, and then that's also going to affect. It's the week before the fight. It's also going to affect the weight cut. Like, I didn't train at all this week, and my back still might be injured when I fight. And the level of guys I'm fighting is pretty high. So I had to make the smart decision there. But yeah. So that's what.
No, and like that's also the thing that you have to learn, man. There's an old saying, know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yeah. So that's
Good
what
morning.
happened
I'm just talking to Anish. I'm doing a podcast right now, so you can just hang out, make yourself comfy. That's Adam. That's one of the guys.
there. Adam, nice. That's what's
Yeah.
up. But but yeah, so hopefully I'll fight again soon. Hopefully in August sometime. And then August, September, October fight. Oh, did I tell you when I'm coming back?
No, no. Do you have a set date?
Mid-October, I'll be back. Yeah,
Oh,
mid-October.
really? Okay. Shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So 3 months because the way the visa worked is I could either pay $1,000 and then have a visa till February, but I don't want to stay till February. And I wanted to come back like December-ish anyway, like November, December anyway.
Yeah, I remember us talking about.
Year.
Yeah, like more into the year.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to like spend $1,000 for a 6 month visa and then leave after 3 months. So
Yeah.
just decided it would be better if I just extended my visa how I normally have been, and then just come back mid-October when that runs out. That'll be a solid 6 months out here.
Man, that's awesome. Wow, that just flies by, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness. So the weeks go by so quick. It's already been over 3 months. So I have like
Mhm.
2 months and 3 weeks left. And then I'll be back home in Raleigh. And I'm trying to think about now, like, okay, where do I want to live? What do I want to do? But that's down the road. And so, but it's soon. Yeah, just a little bit over 2.5 months, and I'll be back out there.
No, that's awesome. You'll get to meet the newest addition to hometown, Max Madorsky. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people have been telling Max like because Max is still getting to know everybody, and I don't think I've gotten to tell you too much about Max, have I?
No, I don't know anything about him really.
So he's a dude. He's 28 now, and I met him when he was 19 or so at a Muay Thai tournament, and I originally scouted him because one of my guys was supposed to fight him,
Oh
but
yeah.
then they never ended up fighting in the tournament together.
Uh-huh.
And so then I ended up going like when I was scouting him, I was like, damn, I like this kid. He has a crazy backstory. He comes from a rock solid camp. And then when I just met him, I was like, damn, what a good kid. Like, and now he's gone on to do a lot of crazy stuff in the world of fighting. And two of the biggest things that he's been doing recently is that he was a member of the Fairtex fight team. So he lived in the dorms out there. He was a sponsored fighter through Fairtex to fight out there and live there. So
Wow.
he had that, and that just came about. He just took some fights in Thailand. They offered him like a position on the team to live and stay and get paid to fight for him. And
That's
then
pretty
he
cool.
also helped. He helped Eddie Farrell in Mexico get Tulum Muay Thai started. So Max also has a lot of background with sanctioning bodies such as like the WBC. So he has a lot of great international experience, and he's kind of at that point of life trying to figure out like, oh yeah, like I'm starting to like he was like trying to figure out if he wants to keep fighting, which he does, but he's also starting to really like dip into like he's finding out he's like, oh man, there's a lot that you can do with coaching.
Hmm.
Like when you have a lot of knowledge in martial arts, you start finding out like, oh, there is a way to keep making a living off of knowing what you know and making money off of experience. And I kind of helped open his eyes to that a little bit. Like it was a total just like happenstance. He just hit me up and he's like, dude, I got to come out and see the new place. And I went, absolutely, dude, come hang out. And he just kind of like immediately just fell in with everybody, just kind of gets along with everyone, teaches a lot of great stuff. And then we kind of tossed around the ideas like, hey, man, you want to come back and maybe stay for a bit longer? And he's like, yeah. And then now we're talking like, hey, man, you want to stay for like 6 weeks and maybe that'll turn to 6 months. And he's like, hell yeah. So we're bringing in like Max, who's going to keep doing these like long term like residencies out here. And now we're talking about that potential shift of like he's like, man, I can definitely see myself like we're looking at like what do we got to do to get Max to move out here so he doesn't have to like worry about too much. Because
Yeah.
like and I tell people I'm very honest about my limitations, you know, and I tell people like, man, these past 2 years now I've got way more limitations than ever before. So what can I do? I can still keep getting better at stuff. I can still keep building a rock solid business. I can keep improving as a coach. And I've got someone who like we have a lot of stuff lines up like together for like what we love about martial arts. And now I get to bring someone in that helps elevate everyone's fucking skill set in this gym. Like he is someone that has world class knowledge for both MMA striking and Muay Thai, and I'm really excited to have him here. And it looks like we got some other stuff working on about another person that's going to be like internationally relocating to the area to help coach at a hometown. I'm very fortunate that like when you come back, man, you're gonna come back and see like it's a whole new. It's like it's not a whole new rodeo. The rodeo just got a lot better.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm very excited for when you come back. You've got like a new peer that
Yeah.
can help show you the ropes for like competition in Muay Thai for like to help you go to that next level, to help Hunter go to that next level, to help whoever walks in the doors go like, hey guys, this is what's out there, And we just got more people on deck to help you guys out, man. Like that's the fucking end goal here. Have a
Yeah.
place that'll help people out. Like it's a weird goal to go out and fight. Yeah, but it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're gonna come back to a whole new ball game, and you're gonna see like a lot of stuff is like shifting in some good directions here, man. So yeah. I can't wait for you to get back.
Yeah. When is so Max, he doesn't live in Raleigh. Like where is he from? Is he in Mexico
No,
right
he's from
now?
Colorado. Yeah, he
Colorado. Okay.
Yeah, so he started training when he was 14, and I want to get him on a podcast. He's adjusting his sleep schedule and stuff like that a little bit. He's gonna be coming in, and he's got privates. He's working with the fighters. He's got a lot of good work with EK.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna help me corner this upcoming weekend, and so he started out in Colorado, and the first gym he happened to walk into was a Grudge Training Center, which was owned and run by Trevor Whitman. And so he came
Wow.
up under Trevor Whitman, Dwayne Ludwig, Christian Allen, like the trifecta of like American striking, like the Mount Rushmore, like three faces of Mount Rushmore for American striking. And his insight and stuff, and I was like, man, it's like world class knowledge.
Mm.
And that's where he came up like from scratch. And so it's really cool just to see like where people's lives go, and now it's looking like he's just going to relocate here. Like he's very much one of those and like we get it, like everywhere you go, like there's Muay Thai, there's martial arts. You can figure, you go there, you like the martial arts, you like the place, like stay for a while. So that's what we're working on.
So he's moving from Colorado. So he trained in Thailand with Fairtex, I'm guessing, and then he came back
Yeah.
to Colorado. So he was training with Trevor Whitman right before, and those three guys before he came to visit
So
home.
that's who we trained with for like a decade. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like just through life, because he really started out in MMA.
Yeah.
Um, and then he would do Muay Thai and kickboxing. They have a big program for that there. And then during a trip to Thailand, he took a couple fights, and he was like kind of like iffy on fighting. And then the guys from Fairtex were like, "Hey man, you just want to like live here? We'll pay you to fight." And he's like, "Okay." And that became like a new chapter in his life. Yeah.
And then was that right before he started coming? I'm trying to figure out what was he doing right before he came to hometown in Colorado?
So right before when he came to hometown, he was in Colorado. Like he just happened to be stateside for like a period of time because he was literally talking about like he was planning on going back to Thailand or going back to Mexico
Hmm.
for like longer chunks of time. And it is tough to relocate, but he talks about like his family's in Colorado, his mom and dad are in Colorado. He's got like a nephew in Colorado, and he wants to be around the family. And he's like, man, if I go, if in like we're talking about if he builds like a good like home base, like he can still go to Thailand, he can still go to Mexico, he can still go to Colorado. But it's just like, hey man, like this is just like a new home base for you. Like you get to kind of like really etch a name for yourself, you know? And like Max and I were talking about like, hey, maybe it's 6 weeks, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 6 to 10 years that he's here, you
Yeah.
know? And like me, I'm very much like, hey, if you want to go do something, like yeah, go do it. Just give us a heads up. Right? Like,
Yeah.
and he's getting that, I'm not having him come in here and I'm not telling him like, hey, you need to do it this way. It's more like, hey man, like what do you think about this? And he's like, oh, you like it? All right, cool. Like here's the ropes for like this. And so he knows like as we've talked about it, it's just a really good opportunity for him. It's an opportunity for me, it's an opportunity for him. And yeah, like so he's already had a big impact on the program here. He's helping me like lay out what we can do exactly with the new bag classes. Like I talk about like how I'm always trying to like level up the format to classes. Like Max sees what I've built, he sees the community, he sees the vision, and now it's like cool. Now we really get to like nail down like some better foundations to the support or better support to the foundation. And yeah, man, so it's a really good thing. We're really happy.
Wow. So okay, so that's interesting. So does he teach right now? Who teaches the classes? Like, do you teach like some? He teaches
So
all.
last week, man, last week was awesome. Like with everything going on, like Max volunteered. He was like, "Hey, man, you want to teach these evening classes?" And I was like, "Yeah, man. Let me just get. I just want to watch."
Yeah.
And so now we get to kind of like pick brains on how I watch him teach classes. He's watched me teach classes, and like he and I are always discussing like, "Hey, this is the application. This is the application. Like this is the scenario." So
Mhm.
I really like that we line up very similar with that. And now we're just slowly working on just kind of meeting in the middle. Like I know like his role will be like, all right, you are going to be in charge of Muay Thai. You are going to be in charge of like helping like get that extra bit of work in with the guys that want to compete.
Yeah.
Like because now with like everything that's happened to me, I am so limited, like physically, like what I have to offer. What I had to offer physically wasn't that much in the first place, but it makes a big difference of like when you have someone that can be in that trench with you with the pads on, with the gear on,
Absolutely.
and he
And you
has
like
like that,
pad
like, so he
holders,
has
like
like,
sparring.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
exactly. And like he and I, like we're communicating, we're learning how to communicate together. He was cornering the guys this past weekend. Like I had so much going on here. I was like, you guys are gonna listen to Christian, you guys are gonna listen to Max. All right. But like, hey, like, and I just brought everyone, like Max saw that he was like, oh shit, you have like a team here. And like everyone knows to listen. Like if I tell you guys to shut the fuck up and listen to my buddy, you're all gonna listen to my friend better than you listen to me. So I know that. I already know that. Like and so yeah, he came in and Max was just like, oh shit, this is a cool thing. And he said, he's like, hey, I want to be a part of this. And I'm like, neat, I do too. So yeah, he's going to come in and just help level up the Muay Thai here. And it's not just, and Max gets it, like he understands the vision a bit, where it's not just the Muay Thai inside this school. It's Muay Thai like across the board.
Yeah.
It's not only here, it's going to be the other schools around here like are like seeing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, he's blown away. He's like, I can't believe there's only one gym in town running classes all day like you are. And I was like, I mean, I don't know, like it's just what I want to do. But like he gets what we're about here, and he now understands that he can have a very big impact in this area in like a good way. You
Yeah.
know, and so I'm very excited for him to help us just like raise our level, man. Like, like the hardest part of like getting better at something is like, sometimes you got to make that like we're all on this fucking mountain. We're all climbing to the top of something, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like I feel like we're kind of like we're like making this mountain, and like we're kind of building a bigger base for this mountain. It's like we're showing people like, hey, like there's the top, and we're all heading there together. Like, but at the same time, Max knows like, hey, we're in the journey with everyone like along the whole way. Like he really sees the bigger picture of what I want people to do with martial arts around here. So it's just it's been great. Like when you see him, you'll get knowledge with him, and you'll see what he has to offer, and you're like, oh, I get it. Like you think that, I mean, you're of course going to level up in Thailand, but like now the ability to level up at hometown is going to be like through the roof.
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. And I bet it's a big relief off your shoulders to have someone else come in on that caliber and teach classes.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, I mean, and I've told Max, I was like, I don't have world class experience. Like I don't think there's anything world class about me. I think I have world class stubbornness. I think I got that, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but it's yeah, it is great that I get to learn how to make my good product into a great product,
Yeah.
and the product being like my coaching, what I have to offer for classes,
Mhm.
you know, and it's been cool to see where like you and I talked about this too, where it's like, man, we're so close to like that thing of like figuring out like what works for us, you know, like
Yeah.
talking about like my goals of like, hey, Trevor, I want to go to Thailand. If I go to Thailand, it's as a coach, not like some dude on vacation, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and like Max sees how I want to like layer out classes. He sees how I want to bring in bags and what to do, and he's like, holy shit, yeah, you're looking at like all these foundations the right way, and he knows that he can come in and help just like solidify like a few of these little gaps. Um, yeah, so it's good, and it's a big relief. It's a big relief to know that I have someone that wants to come in that I can like offload a lot of my clients to. Like
Yeah.
I'm offloading clients to him, I'm offloading clients to Vic. Um and yeah, like I get to see him like raise the bar,
Mhm.
you know? And like now I'm looking at this bar, I'm like, I gotta climb too. Like, fuck. And like I need that. Like I need,
Yeah.
I don't like comfort too much. I need to make myself uncomfortable, and I need to make myself like now I have a very comfortable place to be uncomfortable, you know? Like and yeah, we just really get to spend some time just improving everything. And I'm so happy for that. Like I've never cared about like physically improving myself. I've always trying to improve my coaching, my classes. Like that's what means the most to me. And
Yeah.
now I get to do that, and I'm stoked.
Oh, that's awesome. So I'm curious, how has the reception been of Max coming in from all the students, from all the guys, like the fighters, like EK Hunter, and then all the like the guys that come into class?
Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Hey, can he please stay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the plan." Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, and like like when you see it, it's like it's funny. He's here, and it's like he came in and found his place like right away. You
that's
know,
yeah.
like there's that thing I always talk about. Like some people come in, we're all just like one of us, one of us,
Yeah.
one of us, and like with Max, it's like, oh yeah, he's definitely one of us. Like he's a part of the group. And what like everyone is like he's been getting flooded with like requests of people to train with him. So people definitely sees what he has to offer. And like
Yeah.
I even tell guys, I'm like, hey man, you guys need to sit back and just listen. Like I love the tweaks that he has. And so he's been received very well. Like the way he was cornering everyone, like everyone knew right away, like, all right, I'm just gonna shut up and listen to this guy. Like Andrew Sin,
Yeah.
Max and Andrew Sin just met for the first time yesterday. Andrew Sin's crazy ass, hey man, can I do the fucking scrimmage thing? And I were like, dude, I've only seen you a couple times since we opened, but I trust you. Like, whatever. I know you got that dog in you. Like, I was like, Andrew, I saw what you did like at a smoker on short notice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do one of these short notice. And like Max was just like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? And I was like, I told you, man. Like, there's ninjas in the bushes
Yeah.
around here. There's ninjas in the bushes around here, man.
Yeah.
And Andrew said was even just like, yep, like I get it. Like I can't wait to work with this guy. Like he was in Andrew's corner and stuff. And yeah, yeah. So he's really just fit in well. Like everyone understands that he is here to help them get better, you know?
Yeah.
And
I
it's
saw
not
that.
like yeah, like that's it. Like everyone knows that Max is here to help us all get better. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good. I saw
and,
the
and it's
video.
also with him, like he talks about, he's like, the last thing I want to do is own a gym. And I'm like, that's awesome. Because the number one thing I want to do is own a gym.
Yeah.
Like own a gym because I know what I can do with it,
Yeah.
And yeah.
You guys complement each other. You need someone to own the gym, and then you need the head coach and he's gonna give you probably more free time to do other things with the commission and with the gym and with the
Yeah,
structure.
100 and yeah, and it's like, it's just building a platform that can take us all to some great places. And like even Max knows like I'm not putting like he understand like we both understand the levity of fighting. We both understand that it's a different journey for each person. Like
Yeah.
we all know like some people can jump in, some people needed to take a while to like really organize their shit before they fight. And Max totally gets that. Like he knows I'm not here just trying to churn out competitors to have competitors. Like I've never been that way. I
Yeah.
am here to create martial artists. I'm not here to get 10 new signups a week. I'm here to get people that want to do this for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, and Max gets that. And in those 10 years, will some people fight? Yeah, absolutely. The big thing is that they're still training down the road, that they know they have a place. They know they have like their place on a team, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. Like
That's
I talked
crazy.
about, like we talked about, like what's the goal with you when you get back? Go to some bigger tournaments,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You need a lot of structure to do well at those tournaments to help focus on the athletes. So, and
Uh,
that's where Max comes into play. It means that yeah, in the state of North Carolina, I will, and like Max gets it. Like he understands what I need to do now, and that is build a gym. I have like these baby steps of working with the commission, baby steps of working with a new sanctioning body, and he gets to help facilitate like, or he helps get to like structure the fighters for future competition. Like, the goal is to not be the best in Raleigh. The goal is to not be the best in North Carolina. The goal is just to keep getting better. And when I look back, I can start seeing like, oh, where was I really good at? Oh, a lot of places. All right, neat. And yeah, like, it's just building that team to help guys like you just fucking go to places they never thought they'd go to.
yeah, that's amazing. How did a lot of the guys that competed in the scrimmage do? Who competed in it? How are they looking? How
Oh
was it?
shit. So yeah, the competitions went great, man. It was cool because there were guys like Drake, Cam, and Max have never done any kind of competitions before, you
Yeah.
know? And so now like Cam learned a lot about headspace.
Uh,
Like he did great. Like he was a little bit like outsized by some guys, but it's like one of those things where and like Max gets it too. Like, hey, like people really learn how to correct mistakes after competition. And Cam he just needed to learn like what competition is. Cause like, you see it, people are like, I want to fight. And it's like, okay, hold up. Like, let's get these baby steps out of the way.
Yeah.
Um, Cam did so good. And like Cam also now understands me as a coach more, I think. We're like, oh hey, you're telling me you want to competitively get punched and kicked. I'm gonna make sure you get competitively punched and kicked. Like,
Yeah.
Um, like I loved Cam's performances. He showed great like counters and stuff like that. I loved what I saw from him. Drake had a great match. He faced a dude that came in from Delaware,
Oh wow.
which is
Yeah.
yeah, the dude had great boxing. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he boxed. It was like the worst possible matchup for Drake.
Yeah.
But when you get worst case possible for your first experience, then it becomes best case scenario. You
Yeah.
know, like this dude boxed Drake's face off in the
Yeah.
first
I
like
saw
two,
I
two
saw a
rounds.
picture of Drake afterwards. He had like a beat up
Drake,
face or
Drake,
something.
Drake, like he fucked up in the clinch a little bit. Like he got his nose broken by a knee. Like,
What?
and
He
however,
got his
get
nose
this, like,
broken?
dude, his face, his nose, like, we were all like looking at it. And I was like, your nose is gonna be fine. By the end of the show, we were all like, Drake, we're pretty sure your nose is pretty fucked. And we're just like, and he was like, what do you mean? And you just see his nose like swelling, and we're like, ugh, like it's gonna be a little shifty for the rest of the time now. Like, you know how like your nose, but like sometimes over here, sometimes over here, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
he got he got he got a case of combat nose now.
I
But then
see.
get this. Drake then Drake stops the guy though, like with
What?
knees.
He stopped it with
Yeah.
you? What?
So get this, like in like 3 2-minute rounds, Drake gets his ass beat for fucking out of 6 minutes of competition, gets his ass beat for like 5.5 minutes, and then stops the
What?
guy with knees. And the dude
What?
was like, "All right, I'm good, I'm done." He couldn't like, he had a hard time sitting down. He couldn't stand up straight, and I'm just like, "Damn!" Like Drake fucked this dude up with some knees,
What?
and and it was it was so wild. And I was like, "All right, that's fucking nuts." Like that made me so happy. Um, Max had some really tough draws, but he also learned, like, dude, there was a kid here yesterday with some of the wildest taekwondo and boxing I have ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, like we had people from hometown. Like this guy, he beat up Max, and he beat so Anderson had 2 matches, and this guy actually like stopped Andrew with like a knee to the body at the
Mhm.
end of like their match. And
Wow.
however, like this guy, I was just like, I mean, Max Madorsky and I were both leaning going like, who the fuck is this guy? Like
Yeah.
everyone from hometown, like every time this guy did some cool shit, everyone from hometown was like, oh shit, like that was awesome. Even though like that's our dude, like this guy's doing some cool shit. Like
Yeah.
he was like, I mean, it like very blown away. Like our guys gave him fits, but like we were just like this guy asked, his dad asked, like, hey, we're from Fayetteville, can we come up and train? And I was like, any fucking time, please do. Like thoroughly blown away. So
Nice.
Max just, young Max, Tito's son Max,
Yeah.
he had his first introduction to competition, and he gets some really tough draws. He's a young kid. He faced another young kid with like a lot of competitive experience,
Yep.
and also throwing wild shit at Max. And I'm just like, man, I would do really bad with a guy like that. Like the way this guy just threw shit from all over, but Max showed like great determination. Like he just got like caught up in the moment. He's like, oh shit, like this is competition. I'm like, yeah, it's like Saturday, just with a different focus now.
Yeah.
Max's second match, he faced a dude that was just a lot fucking bigger, and like shots bounced off of him. But
Yeah.
he showed a huge improvement in his second match, like with his
Yeah.
teeps, his push kicks, his commitment down the middle, his entries to the clinch. Like, so Max went from like getting his ass like whole beat
Yeah.
throughout like the entire round against like the Taekwondo guy.
Yeah.
And Max showed like he had good moments in that. And then he looked great in his second. Like as it went on, like you can just tell the other guy had a bit more horsepower and could just like kind of like, and it's like, but Max is like this big around, and he fought a dude that was like this big around. Like, and I'm just like, all right, like you're not gonna face someone that fucking big. I mean, there are sometimes you face someone, you're like, how the fuck are you so big? You know? Um, but Max, he did great with that. Like, so those three for their first time competing, it was like perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Andrew Sin, like with him coming on short notice, I'm just like he did amazing in his first match, really showed out, did great. Like when he faced the Taekwondo guy, like it was a wild match. Like it was all over the place.
I
And like
bet.
everyone was stopping and watching. And it's great because the referees really do a good job of communicating and keeping the action going.
Mm.
Everyone knows like what the end goal is. Like there's no stopping and changing rule sets.
Mm.
Sometimes they allow like rule set shifts, but they let people know like, hey, we're gonna start off first round unified, then we go modified, stuff like that.
That's sick. That's
Um,
sick.
yeah, it's a really good format. I like how they do it, and it's like even Brian said, like I tell the guys, like, hey, it's a scrimmage, like it's competitive. There's no winning, there's no losing. It is a scrimmage. Like rules are different at scrimmages. Like there's little things where they're talking about, like, hey, like let's not go for like full leg lift like sweeps and stuff like that. Like, off balances can occur, but like they're making sure people really focus on like the core concept of getting ready for competition, getting ready with that nitty gritty exchanges. Hunter did great in his match. Like it was really good to see him come out and let his elbows go in the
Oh,
third round. Like so they allow like full rules in like the third round. Like they make sure two guys work, and then they
no.
allow them to incorporate elbows in the last round.
Okay.
Hunter did phenomenal with that. Like it was really cool. He hit some sick elbow combinations. And then Big Jesus had a match too.
I saw
Uh,
that.
did you see his highlight video of that? Him hitting like a 360 kick.
I
And
saw the
everyone's like,
tornado
who
kick.
taught him
Yeah,
that? And I was like, man, he just fucking does that. He taught himself that. Like,
that was surprising. I
I,
don't know how the heck he did that.
dude, he is so fucking nimble for a big guy. Like, it don't make sense. Who else competed? Josh had a tough match. Attorney Josh, you
Yeah.
know, he faced someone, but he learned the lesson. It doesn't matter if you fucking know the person. You don't sit there and tell a guy. It was a Big Will that comes in sometimes. He trains with Addison.
Oh yeah, the long hair.
Like, long hair, yeah. Kind of looks more like Fat Thor instead of in shape Thor, but moves
Yeah,
like in shape Thor still.
dude,
Like,
he's good. I sparred
um,
with him once. He
dude,
was
he is.
sharp.
He's
Yeah,
fucking good. Like, he's a great
yeah,
game day competitor.
yeah,
And Josh made a little critical error where I guess like they spoke beforehand, and I was like, he's like, hey, we made an agreement. I was like, fuck you talking about? You made an agreement. There ain't no agreement in competition. Like,
yeah,
it becomes like it doesn't matter. Like, you'll see storylines throughout history with competition.
yeah,
You know, there's a lot of times like people in the room that you've trained with, you have to fight down the road.
yeah,
And when you fight, like it doesn't matter. You have to come out on top. So
yeah,
he made like a big mental critical error. And that's all stuff that like we still keep trying to work on.
yeah,
And it's just like, hey, Josh, like, don't you ever like think that you should, think differently in a situation? Like a lot of people will try to make a situation as controllable to them as possible, or like make the brain handle it and convince themselves that like, they're in charge of it. And I'm like, no, man, like in competition, like you are in charge of yourself and you gotta be ready for what you're gonna do. And so like he messed up by like talking to Will, going like, yeah, but I'm like, hey man, you don't fucking talk to someone that's a competitor like that. Like Will's a very game day guy. He has some really good experience. Like,
yeah, for
so
sure.
Josh made a critical error thinking that he could create some kind of controlled outcome, I guess, by like going like, hey, Will, let's agree to not fuck each other up. No, fuck that. It's competition. You guys, you might get fucked up if you come
Yeah,
in with the wrong mindset. Like I literally told Josh, I was like, he did nothing wrong. You fucked up a little bit, but that's what it is. Like everyone jumps into competition differently, you
yeah,
know? Who else had matches? Uh, EK brought up some guys from Greenville that did really fucking good. Oh,
yeah.
Ziggy showed out.
Uh-huh.
So I'll show you. Have you seen the highlight of his match?
No.
Okay, cool. I'll send that to you. He did great. Like Ziggy showed out. Like fucking A. Like he came to me afterwards. He's like, Coach, I didn't know I was capable of this. And I'm like, well, now you do. Like that's
Yeah,
the whole plan. So Ziggy really showed out. Like stopped his first opponent, and then agreed to do a match with a good friend of mine. His family was here. JP. He's a young kid. He's like a 14-year-old kid or younger than that. Out of 8 points. And Ziggy's like, hell yeah, I'll move around with you. I'll give you some work. And like it was great. Like Max Medorsky was like coaching, like he was like, yo, Ziggy, you're my boy. But I really like this kid for stepping up and want to face an adult. I'm gonna tell him what to do. And Ziggy's like, bet. Like, the kid's dad is there, but like all the dudes from hometown, like once they knew, like I knew this kid and like the family, they're all like, yo, JP, fuck Ziggy up. fuck him up, dude, something cool, dude, come something cool, JP. And like everyone, like it was cool to see like how welcoming everyone was. Like, hey, like everyone knew, like if you're gonna piece up our guys here, like, all right, cool, you did good, like good job, you know. And like Ziggy picked the kid up at the end of the match and said, like, hey man, good job, like that was awesome. Like and so like that was a very cool moment. Like that was a very, very cool moment to see Ziggy, like to see like both sides of Ziggy shine, like competitor Ziggy and like a person that's down to like, hey, let me help this guy improve, you know. And that's like the core value here in hometown. Like, get ready to compete, but if you're ready to compete, make sure you're ready to help others compete just as much as you're ready to help yourself. Yeah, so there were some pretty magical moments yesterday here, and it's great because it's not like no one in here became a world champion yesterday. However, everyone definitely improved their foundation to take the next step. You know, so it was exactly what this place needed. It's exactly what the area around here needed. So now it's been cool to see how busy my phone has been post event and today. You know, you kind of get to like sit back and there's like that, like, oh, just sit back and like watch stuff unfold, and it's all unfolding in the best way possible. Um,
Wow. Any opportunities for something similar to happen in the future, or like any big plans or anything
oh
like that?
fuck yeah! Oh fuck
Yeah.
yeah! Fuck
Yeah.
yeah! Like I told you my plans. Like I told people my plans, and I'm like, look, I'm either like I'm always gonna. I realize like if you got to go places, you got to align yourself with people that have either been there or want to go in the same direction.
Yeah.
You know, and like I talk about, there's always been goals of a lot of stuff that I can do and stuff that I want to do for the sport around here, and so yeah, man. Yesterday was definitely like a good start in the right direction for the state of North Carolina and the combat sports that take place inside of it. You know, and even seeing the facility yesterday, I was like, oh, cool. We can do so much with this space. We can do so fucking much with this space for events and competitions in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I know there's fights coming up, what, in a week or like 6 days. This is coming up Saturday. Who's fighting on that, and how is that looking?
Good, man. I'm really glad that EK's in town. Like EK is like in Raleigh for the rest of the camp for like the past 2 weeks.
Nice.
Max and EK hit it off like off the bat right away. You know, so it's been great to see Max like say a lot of stuff to EK. It's like a lot of the same stuff I'm getting on him about, but he can have the pads on. He can put gloves on and drill and move with him and show him. You know, so EK is looking good, sharp, and dialed in for this coming weekend. It'll be his third fight. He's facing a dude that's 2-0. I know the guy. I know the coaches. Funny enough, like this guy was at the seminar that I did in Myrtle Beach for my friend's student for charity.
Uh-huh.
I'm always doing that shit because I'm just a fucking bleeding heart over here. But like it's so funny because they're like, yeah, dude, we don't like I taught like a clinch seminar to a bunch of jiu-jitsu people and like
Mhm.
one guy with like kickboxing experience. But they're
Wow.
like, yeah, we don't do a whole lot of that grabbing shit. And I was like, well, I mean, if you don't, we will. Like, you know, like so we both know like each other's game plans. Like I know this kid's tough. But I believe in EK. Like I know EK can like I know EK's potential better than EK knows his potential, you know.
This
And
isn't the
having someone
same
like
guy that he
Max,
was supposed to fight. This isn't the same guy he was supposed to fight last
no,
time.
no, 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 different guy, yeah.
Okay.
Um, but like you know, Max is also helping EK see his potential, you
Yeah.
know. So it's great, you know. I think like EK is going to do amazing next weekend. And then we got Ty making his MMA debut.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And
Okay.
with Ty, man, like you know, he's a kid. 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 He's about to be a senior in high school. You know, if there is one thing I fucking hate about high school is I think they should remove senior. It should be like you're a freshman, you're young, you're a sophomore, you're dumb, you're a junior, you're an idiot, you're a senior. No, you don't know. You should just be like, oh, welcome to the last year of you don't know shit. Like, you know, so like it's having to like introduce Ty to growing up very fast. You know, he's got a kid on the way.
Yeah.
So it's like with Ty in this fight, like I've seen Ty, like you've seen Ty compete, like, and it's so wild to see people that are kids, but they compete. Like I'm like, oh my god, that kid's a monster. Like when I see his like wrestling highlights, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this kid? Like you know. Like
Yeah.
in practice, I got to tell him to pull it back a little bit, but that's what's making him good because I don't need him to go hard in practice.
Yeah.
He can go hard. Like he can. Like in competition, like that's when it matters. He did that semi MMA with like a month notice,
Yeah.
and I just met the kid, and I went, "Okay, I trust you. You trust me." He said, "Yeah," and I was like, "Man, I will let you have an MMA fight. You know, you're about to go into your last year of high school, and I think like he needs this fight so he can help like determine what he's going to do for the rest of his life." You
Yeah.
know, like he has a great matchup. Like I don't like easy matchups for my guys. I don't want a fight that we learn nothing from, you know? So with this fight ahead of him, like this guy has a lot of good grappling experience. All
Mm.
right. Like, you know, and I'm excited. I'm excited. But I was like, hey, Ty, don't forget, you got a lot of fucking grappling experience too.
Yeah.
You know, it's just two different types of grappling. Like you're facing a jiu-jitsu guy. Okay, cool. Like good. This is a fight. It's not a jiu-jitsu match. And it's
Yeah.
like teaching him how to navigate like the thoughts and actions that get you ready for competition. Like, you know, and like you learned your first full contact fight, you were 18,
Uh,
19,
I had
18.
just, when was it? It was 2021. So I had just turned 19. I had just turned
Yeah.
19. Yeah.
Yeah.
The week
And
after.
before that, like, yeah, you did like the smokers over quarantine and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I was 18 when I did the
You did
smoker.
your first full contact at 19, man. It's like with Ty, it's like, hey, man, you're having to navigate a lot of stuff in this that will prepare you for becoming an adult.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like with Ty, I told him, I was like, you're about to become a man very fast. Like when you have a kid, there's no more like you're no longer a child. You got to be a
Yeah.
fucking man. And
Yeah.
like,
You have to.
you know, I got into it like not I didn't get into it with him, but it was just one of those things where I told him I was like, hey, these thoughts that you have, I don't want to fucking hear them. Like I know you're gonna have these thoughts, but like you need to like stow that shit away and focus on what's coming up. And it's like been cool to see Ty like slowly have to turn into a man like very fast. So with this and Ty, like I'm excited. You know, I do let wrestlers kind of jump into MMA.
Yeah.
To me, I tell people like if you grow up wrestling, MMA is it's still fucking dangerous. It's a fight. But if you grow up doing something like wrestling, it's a little bit safer to have like a one or two amateur MMA fights around the time you're 18
Yeah.
to make sure you know like what you're going to get ready for in the future. And yeah, Ty, I'm super excited for his debut. You know, so it's yeah, I'm excited. We got EK and Ty next weekend, and then I think Hunter's doing WKA Nationals. I'm not sure yet. I don't know
Oh,
yet.
when is that? August?
That
Delaware?
that's in August. Yeah.
Delaware?
Yeah. So that's end of August. And even like with Hunter, I keep telling him, like, man, I'd like you to have like maybe one more fight before we do another tournament. Like, you know, like Hunter is doing a good job of like understanding like where he's at and what he needs to do to get ready for a fight.
Yeah.
So like we're kind of tossing around back and forth. Like, do I need to go ahead and find like I'd like I think I'm yeah, like I do want to get like a full rules Muay Thai fight for him before he hops into a tournament. So yeah, I think and then rest of the year is just up in the air.
So yeah.
Like Sam was
Sure.
supposed to, yeah, Sam was supposed to fight on Fight for It, but
Yeah.
Sam Cleary, I want him to have at least like one more MMA fight this year. And then I told him I was like, I think it'd be good for you to focus on like a kickboxing match and like maybe some more, just like sharpening up some stuff. I was like, hey Sam, like it's pretty easy to go 2-0 in MMA. You
Yeah.
know, he had the two semi MMAs. He did his first semi MMA on a week's notice with like a month's training, like a
Yeah.
couple months training and striking, you know. So he's kind of just like jumped into the deep end. And now I'm like, now Sam, now you have like a good like toolbox to build off of. And Sam's young enough that he can do this for a long time.
Yeah.
So with Sam, I want to get Sam Cleary like one or two more fights before the end of the year to keep him busy and just get him ready for what's next.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Kickboxing
hey man,
fights
like,
or
what's that?
kickboxing fights or MMA? So you didn't want him to take an MMA fight in July. Like you wanted to wait for that and then like have him
Oh,
do.
for Sam? No, we tried to get Sam on this July card, but they just couldn't find anybody for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I told Sam, I was like, look, man, like after like two or three fights in North Carolina, you've got to start looking at fights in other places.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I was like, I think the plan might be is to like get him a kickboxing match and then take him to a fight in South Carolina, get used to having like head kicks in a full contact like scenario. Um, get him a few fights out of state, get him ready for elbows and knees, and be like, hey man, you want to go pro with this? Like the route to going pro in MMA in America, it's pretty straightforward. Like funny enough, like for combat sports in America, it is way more laid out for MMA than it is for Muay Thai and kickboxing to become like a professional athlete at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems that way. So you want to have him do a kickboxing fight next, and then do MMA after that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like he and I are tossing around, but it's also I don't make anybody do what they don't want to do. If
Yeah,
you want to, like, here's the thing about fighting: you have to want to do it.
yeah, it's true.
Like, me as a coach, a lot of coaches will see someone walk in the gym and they see like what they can do, and they're like, "Damn, they do this so much better than me. This kid's gonna be a monster." And I tell people like, there ain't nothing about me that's a fucking monster. I mean, yeah, I have like trained for a long time. If you're a normal dude on the street, or even if you have like some training experience, like I can be a fucking problem. But for like people have always been faster than me. People have always hit harder than me. People have always been tougher than me. Like fighters have always been those things more than I ever have. So a
Yeah,
lot of coaches will like see these natural attributes in someone that they don't have, and they go, "The kid's gonna be doing this," and I'm like, "Nah, I don't know." Like, hey, what do you want to do? If you tell me you want to fight, what do you trade for a fight? If you tell me that you want to be an underwater basket weaver, I'll be like, all right, start holding your breath. Like,
yeah,
So with fighting, you have to want to do it. And with like the past 2 years with hometown, like it was like if you wanted to fight for me, like fighters fight, you better fucking show me that you want to do the work. And then we meet in the middle
mm,
and we get you ready for that fight. So yeah, like with Sam, like he wants to do it. And I just tell him like, hey man, well, I'm just getting you ready to do it for the next 10 years or 15 years or however long, that
yeah,
competition window is gonna be.
yeah, that makes sense. So I'm guessing you're going to the fights in Charlotte and cornering with Max.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Nice. Down the road, do you see yourself like traveling and cornering like these like WK Nationals? Are you guys going to that? Are you going to be cornering there? Or are you going to like, because I remember before I left, you were talking about having Vic go and be like the corner guy at fights and stuff.
Yeah, and like for right now, it's just trying to navigate like, the future that we've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's making sure I have a network behind me that can help me when I need the help, you know? And so for like stuff on the road, I can be a bit more like active corner, but I'm making sure I have guys that can help me corner in the state, you
Yeah.
know? Or if there's stuff like, hey man, sometimes like guys like fight teams get a little spread out. So it's good to have a couple different corners for people, you know? Um, yeah, so like someone like, guys like Vic and Max, like they'll be like the main corners in some of the future fights in North Carolina. Cause like and that all depends on, like I said, like the potential of me working with the commission is there, but it's also not set in stone.
Yeah. Is that not like this year type of thing or more like in a year or like a couple years or
Yeah.
it's just all up
Yeah.
in the air now? But you know the
That
opportunity is
I mean
there.
like a lot of stuff has like started, but it's like, hey, making sure we're all looking at it like step by step.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing. Hell, like I told people like with me, like my initial thoughts when I was younger and I was coaching and refing, and I see like the behind the scenes of it. Like, I do know how important like a sanctioning body is for competitors. And I always told myself like, okay, that's more of like a retirement goal because I'm never gonna fucking retire from martial arts. It's fucking impossible for me.
Yeah.
I initially saw like really making judging, refing, officiating, doing anything in that regard as something I do in like my early to mid 50s. Like start doing more of that, but like still be a coach, but like, just kind of be like the old guy telling kids to keep their fucking hands up,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
able to like impart some common sense in this fucking Instagram, YouTube generation I got to live with. Uh, yeah, so like, hey, if it means that like I go down this route of like officiating or becoming someone on a commission, like it's not guaranteed. You know, I think about, oh, you know what? If there's one thing I'd wear a fucking tie to work for, it would be martial arts. Like, and I'm okay with that. At a gym, I'm absolutely wearing fucking sweatpants. It's my gym. I'm dressing comfy. But like, if I gotta be an adult for something, I can be an adult for like officiating and overseeing fights. And it is, if you know me, like my passion is undeniable for this sport.
Yeah.
And when people say like this sport, I mean like martial arts. Like martial arts is a lot of fucking sports in one. And that's why I like it. So hey, if I got to take the coach hat off for a while to be a better coach in the future, I fucking do it. If I take my coaching hat off now, like inside this state, so this state has a better platform to grow with, then I fucking take my hat off and I comb my hair. But like outside of the state, I can still be Coach Trevor. Like I tell my guys, like there's certain things that I've been having to come to terms with myself on. Like, what are my strong suits now? My current strong suits are not the same from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because of what happened. So it's having to shift. Like, what can I do best for people? Like, what is my position going to be that'll do the best for people around me? You know. And
Yeah.
so, hey, if that means like for the kids around here, if that means Trevor has to put on a suit and go like, hey, here's how we're looking at fights, like, then fine. Like, I love that. But like outside the state, like there will be guys like, Max and Vic and everyone else here, like they know how to corner. And if that means like I kind of just like hang out a bit more behind the scenes, I'm totally cool with that. Like I've never been a spotlight type of guy,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. So even if that means like if I know like and it's building a team and having coaches like I know I can trust in the moments that it matters, you
Yeah.
know? And so that'll definitely help me as a coach for like bigger out of state shows.
Mm.
Like I can't be in everyone's corner. It's fucking impossible after an amount of time, especially when guys, and I've been there like even younger on, like having guys fight that I train in multiple states in one night. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck do I do? Oh, well, I put them in hands of people that I can trust. And it's like people like Jason Farrell that, like I've hit him up like, yo, can you fucking corner this guy if I send him up there? And they're like, I got you, let me get you for that. So,
That's
but
it.
now it's like I get to build like the in-house system for it.
That's good.
So yeah, like the future has a lot of possibilities. And right now, like my goal is Monday morning, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna make a pot of fucking coffee, I'm gonna teach class and keep planning ahead for what's next. Because nothing is fucking
So
guaranteed.
you are
But
teaching classes though. Like,
oh fuck yeah, dude.
okay.
Fuck yeah, I'm still teaching classes. Like, but
Okay.
that's also just like a gray area of like with the commission, you know? Um, like there is like, hey, what is the gray area of like what do I have to do to stay on like the commission's good graces? Because I totally understand where they come from with it being a conflict of interest. I totally get that of me being a gym owner, of me being a coach in this state, you know?
Your guys fight
Um,
events that you overlook.
yeah. And it's like, hey, like, I mean, if my guys fight on a show in North Carolina, then for that night, that just means like I just would probably have to sit in the fucking crowd with a hoodie on and some snacks in my hand and go, all right, guys, don't look like shit. I gotta fucking sit here and watch.
Well,
Like,
that'd be so interesting.
but it's also like, hey man, like I do know, like if I get on the commission, it is not to create an advantage or to have something where like I can steer, be like, no, just make my guys win. No, it's like to make everyone fucking better.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
I'm a very like when I talk to my peers on the commission, like they do understand that if there's anyone that is very like honest and about stuff, like it's me. Like they know that like my goals for this sport are not like some kind of personal intent. It is for the people that are coming after me. Like
Yeah.
so they completely understand what I want to do with this. And they know it's nothing like monetary gains. It is nothing like me trying to create like a lock on something. So just my guys are the best in this area. It is like I'm trying to make sure I can just help. I can just fucking help. Like that's it. They know like when I've worked as a judge and I've spoken to other people, like I am as unbiased as it can fucking be. You know?
Yeah.
Um I've had no issues when I've judged fights for people that I know, where I tell them like, hey, this is why you lost that fight. and I would lay it out like by the numbers. And then they go, well, shit, that makes fucking sense from your standpoint. I'm like, that's it. Like, I'm your buddy. Like, hey, outside of me with the scorecard, like when I have a scorecard, I am Judge Trevor. So don't fuck it up. You know, like that's it. I'm very unbiased. And you know, on the commission here, like they know that. They know that whatever I say, there is like sometimes some heat behind it, but that heat comes from passion. But they do know I am unbiased, you know.
Yeah.
And I think they also do know that my intentions with the commission, like they are good intentions. I am not trying to get onto the commission to create like a fucking like like fucking hold on it, you know. Like I
Yeah.
want the commission to grow as much as possible. Like there's room for growth,
Oh,
and
for sure, there's room for growth. You can make a big
and,
difference
and
if
I
you.
want to. And
Yeah.
and it is like, you know, the older you get, you start understanding your purpose a bit more. And like my purpose is service before self. Let me fucking help put these other people ahead. Like
Yeah.
that feels best to me. And the commission is understanding that, you know. I was glad that I had a representative of the commission here yesterday at the event. And he's like, okay, this makes sense for the growth. My
Mm.
buddy Max Doran, who owns businesses in the area, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He came in yesterday and he's like, holy shit. If only we had platforms like this, like 13 fucking years ago. Imagine what we could have done. And I'm like, that's it right there. You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, it's like, you know, it's growing up is tough. It's fucking hard. I'm almost 40 and I'm having to grow up every fucking day still.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I was 21, I knew I was not a fucking adult. When I was 28, I was like, okay, I'm a bit more, I'm like adult-ish. I'm adult adjacent at 28, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
then like 37, I'm still like, okay, now I'm like adult adjacent, but more like on this side of it now, you
Yeah.
know? Like later on today, guess what I'm gonna fucking do? I'm gonna open up a giant care package of Pokemon cards, like that someone sent me. Like I said, I'm still very much like adult adjacent, you
Yeah.
know. Um, but it's like the adult part of me does want growth for everyone, and that means and that includes growth for my fucking self, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's there. There's a lot of good potentials happening right now, you know. And if you've got like 10 potentials going on, like the one thing that makes the most sense will fucking show itself. And right now, like we're all looking at like Talia's understanding of where I'm at with stuff, and like people around me are understanding like, hey, like I got my thing to do, and it's good for everybody, you know. So yeah, like we, you know, right now I just got to sit back and see what's in store for the future. And it's very good to know that, hey, let me just keep doing what I'm fucking doing. Let
Yeah.
me just keep doing the damn thing. You know, my thing is my thing. And I guess I hear from others that I know my thing pretty well. From like, dude, there were so many people here yesterday that had never seen this fucking gym.
They know
The
you.
only people, like some of them, like knew of
Yeah.
me, you know, but
Yeah.
like there were, we had a great turnout of people from hometown here.
Mm.
We had a good crop of like guys from hometown here. But like when you look at the number of people that were here yesterday, I was like, oh, none of these people have been to my school before. But all these people are seeing how I operate a business.
Mm.
They're seeing how I operate my team. They're seeing how I operate with my students.
Yeah.
My students are seeing how I do operate with the commission. They understand. They're like, oh shit, Trevor's not swearing around this guy. Why is Trevor so on his manners with this guy over here? Like,
Yeah.
people are understanding that me as like coach and business owner, I understand my hierarchy, you know? And it
Yeah.
was kind of funny. Like some people were like, hey, Trevor, I didn't know you were working for this commission. I'm like, I'm fucking not. And they're like, so why were you yelling so much? I'm like, it's still my goddamn gym. I
Yeah.
know how to control my gym. I know my fucking room. And I had coaches coming up to me going like, holy shit, I love how you talk to your guys. Like, I like how you handle the room. Guys that work on the commission were all coming up to me going like, bro, how do you yell at a room like that? And I'm like, what, a room like this? This is 4,200 square feet. I can put my voice in every fucking nook and cranny in this bitch without a microphone. Like, I know that. So like
Yeah.
all I was doing yesterday was like, I was telling my guys like where to be, what to do, and then I also helped the commission. Just like sometimes I just had to yell, like, "Hey, you guys over there, shut the fuck up!" Like, like some of the guys in the commission were like, they were just trying to they were kind of talking quietly. And I was like, you can be an asshole, yell, yell. And so I was kind of just yelling for guys on the commission that were getting a little bit too busy. And it even shows I was talking to Brian. I was like, hey man, for the next show, let me know what you need from me and my guys. You know, Talia being the gangster that she is, she was like, shit, I'll help with whatever they need, sign-ins, check-ins, whatever can make it easier, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, yesterday really made me happy, showing the potential of this place. So
Yeah.
it was cool just to see. Yesterday kind of felt like a grand opening. Yeah. I didn't plan a grand opening. I just knew my business was going to be open by a certain date. And
Yeah.
and my date of that just so happened to be coinciding with another event, you know. So for something that came up short notice, it really made me happy to sit back and just be Coach Trevor, be business owner Trevor, and just see my team work together. It was cool to see my team work with other teams. The environment in here yesterday also just made me happy. There were no winners yesterday. Yeah, a few people got stopped, but what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
Critical errors happen. And that's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to learn at these. You know, yeah, it was a good thing yesterday. And yesterday really helped me. Like I said, man, yesterday just really helped me kind of see a lot of pieces fall into place that we've been working on for what we're gonna do next. Yeah.
Wow, that's good, bro. That's amazing. I feel like the vibes that you're giving off are the next morning after you win a fight. It was just such a dub yesterday. You learned a lot of maybe doors open and connections made, and
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
lot to look forward to in the future now because of yesterday, that one event.
Just one event. Yeah, but then it's also people are asking hey, when's the next one? And I'm talking to Brian. I'm like, hey man, we got to make this a regular thing. Not too regular, but I believe hey man, this could be a quarterly thing. And it doesn't mean here's the thing, more doesn't mean better. It doesn't mean we need these shows every weekend. I think if we can have a quarterly show in Raleigh here for this, that's a great thing. On top of that, I now see even more that I can do with this space, with small event ideas that I've talked to people on the commission about. I've talked to people on other sanctioning bodies about. I see my gym as a launching platform.
Yeah.
You know, this right now is probably the best diving platform in Raleigh
Yeah.
for martial arts. We're building something for people to jump into that fucking deep end and be okay with it.
Yeah. I feel like the growth
So,
the last couple months since I've been gone, the new place, it's been exponential compared to before. It was always you teaching classes in the shoebox, you called it, right? But
yeah,
now it's you
in a
got all these
shoebox
guys.
with half a fucking brain, with half a fucking body, having to get better from what happened to me, and then
Yeah.
to where we're at now. It really puts me on the
So
other
much.
side of stuff.
Yeah, so much
Yeah.
growth is happening.
But that's the thing that gets you better. It's growth.
Yeah.
It's not ugh, people want to be treated like a fucking house plant. Give me the perfect amount of sun, perfect amount of water, perfect soil. It just doesn't fucking happen that way, man.
No.
Can you create a good place to grow? Yeah, but growth comes from really fucked up places. Growth comes from really fucked up events, you know? And my growth from the most recent unfortunate series of events that I'm still dealing with from almost 3 years later, like, yeah, the growth is there. And I get to show other people what growth is. I make jokes about I'm pretty bad about my personal growth, but in reality, I just don't like to limit myself by, being okay with some complacency. I know whatever I'm good at now, I have to keep getting better at. And I've just always been wired that way. So yeah, what we did and everything that went down yesterday, it's cool. We got a special place on our hands and we're gonna do a lot with it. And yeah, man, it's just, hey, this is the fucking ride and we're all on it together.
Yeah, bro, I'm so excited to come back in October and just
I'm stoked too, man. That makes me happy. I was it's definitely like different, like without like a niche here, like, you know, with that a niche vibe in class. Like everyone's like, I was like, man, you guys are starting to look like you're slacking like coach a little bit. Like it used to be like, hey, keep up with the niche. And it's still like, hey, keep up with Hunter. Hey, keep up with these guys. But like, you know, it'll be great to have you back in here and you'll have like a whole new crop of guys to train with. A
Yeah,
whole new guys that you can help elevate, that'll help elevate you.
yeah,
You'll get work in with Max. And you know, we're just stepping the fucking game up because someone has to, you
yeah,
know. It's
100%.
really fucking easy to be the best at something in your backyard. And that's not what I'm about.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you're taking it big time now, or like this is like the foundation to really host those bigger events and really like put
Yeah.
a big impact on the scene, not just North Carolina, but like probably the East Coast and who knows like what the
Well,
future holds.
yeah, like people have said that I've made small impacts here and there with people, like up and down the coast and out west. I mean, like you've noticed it. We're like, you fucking, I feel bad for you because you go on these like sales trips and you can't fucking escape me still. Like
Yeah,
you
that's
go to other
Dallas,
states
Texas,
and they're like, yeah, this
dude.
fucking guy I trained with in Raleigh, Trevor, train with Trevor, that fucking dickhead.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
what
know him.
the
But no, and now I know, like, and I kind of see like the bigger picture. I was like, man, if I made an impact just doing what I was doing, like before, like, just you guys fucking wait, you know?
heck?
Like, yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. That's amazing.
Oh man, yeah. Life is weird. I'm exhausted, and I can't wait to keep doing this.
That's what's up, dude. That's what's up. So
Man,
what you gotta do? You gotta put up the bags.
what's that?
You gotta put up the bags right now. Like
Oh, here's the great thing about having a team and like a staff. This
yeah.
place yesterday was a fucking disaster. The event ended. There was trash everywhere. There were no bags up. But within like less than an hour of that event being over, mats were clean and wiped down. Everything was put back into place and bags were back up. Oh shit, you haven't seen these bad boys yet.
Dude, no, show me the bags,
Oh,
bro. I want to see the custom bags.
Adam, Adam, can you help me out? Can you go in that back office real quick and go behind the white door and you'll see that. No, not right there. No, right there. Doctor's office. Go in the doctor's office. It's weird to say we have a doctor's office in here now.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty.
yeah, go in through that white door and you'll see that Dwight Schrute flag. So there's a little like, yeah, just go in the office, go in the office, go in the dark room. There's a Dwight Schrute flag in there. Go ahead and like hit the light switch that's right behind it. Oh yeah, we got all these bad boys in here. I think some light, maybe. You find it? Aha. Bags.
Those custom bags? Those
Bags. Custom bags. Custom bags.
I can't see the customization on them. Oh, there
Custom
we
bags.
go. Ah, wow. Heck yeah.
Custom bags. Custom bags.
That
Big
is
bag cage.
sick.
Okay, we didn't get that. We didn't get that bag up, but fuck that bag for right now. But
This
yeah,
is my hometown.
I was like, somehow this fucking bag, it just, I don't know. I was like, why was this sitting lower? I swear to God, I have the same attachments for it. But right now, that bag can fucking sit there. But yeah, we can like, yeah, you just see we have like all the bags up for the bag cage. But yeah, man, like the gym was a fucking madhouse yesterday, and you know, like we had this place fucking cleaned up and ready to go for Sunday morning church service in like less than an hour. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, bro, the gym is looking great. The gym is looking really good. The bags are up. So the gym's
But
done
wait,
now.
there's more.
Yeah.
Like we're not fucking like Talia, I can't believe she puts up with me because she's like, as soon as we got everything in here, like she knew I was taking it in, but she's like, you're already like looking at how to make it better. And I'm like, fucking of course I am.
What is
So
it?
yeah, we've got some future touch-ups coming up. You know, there's like little things. I want to get some more cage walls by the ring. We're going to turf out the area underneath the bag cage, get a weight sled in here, and just keep improving the foundation that we've already built.
You're gonna get a shower, you think?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, we already have the plans for that.
Oh, nice. Heck
It's
yeah.
not a it's not a think, it's a no. But
Okay.
you know, and here's the thing, like a lot of people have good ideas, we have good ideas, but unless someone just wants to throw me a bunch of fucking money, which I don't want from anybody for this because we built this gym fucking tooth and nail from scratch.
Yeah.
And like, so we've got, yeah, like we've got a lot of like, dude, there's always something going on, and like everything now is just to create a better training environment. So there will be more additions to the facility. Like this fucking facility is 2 months old.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Not even 2 months fucking old. Not even two
Yeah.
months old. And yeah, all I'm looking at is how to make it better, how to make the next event even better.
Do you think that'll be like the end of this year type of thing? Like once a quarter, you think?
Oh, what, the next in-house event?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely do one more in here before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Without a fucking doubt, we'll do one more here.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, there's we got a lot in store. And it's like, like right now we get to like, hey, like now the bags are finally in. So now we get to build up like this next step, building the bag classes. Like, and and it was really funny to hear from Max and then another friend of mine, Michael, who was visiting from Australia, who's lived in Thailand, fought in Thailand as a coach out in Australia. And they were like, you got how many fucking students without bags? And I'm like, yeah, over 100 hitting each other and hitting pads. And it's like the learning curve, like the introduction to martial arts on like on hitting a bag changes it differently for everyone. Like, and it's also with a bag, like business wise, people love hitting bags. Guess what? I like hitting bags. I like seeing people hit bags and
Yeah.
not suck at their technique. But it introduces like, what was that? Where'd that come from? Sorry, there's some loud banging noise. Maybe the building's collapsing. That would make fucking sense. Oh, was it a flag or something? Oh shit! All right, I'll look at that in a second.
What happened?
Something fell off a wall back there. I'm like, place is haunted. Who fucking knows? Um, yeah, but man, like it's just gonna keep getting better. It's just gonna keep getting better here. So, yeah,
Nice. Good stuff, dude. Well, I
yeah.
mean,
Sorry for
probably
being way more tired and way more rambly than normal, but
very good. This is a
like,
good episode. It's like an hour and a half, and I know like people love to listen to it. Like Vion, me and him will get on the phone, and he's out doing his summer sales, and he's like doing summer sales door to door is like a whole different life than not doing it. He's like living two lives, and I know about it.
oh yeah,
He tells me all the time. He's like, dude, I love listening to the podcast with you and Trevor. It's like a breath of fresh air back into the normal life, getting away from. So he listens to all these on the way to going and knocking doors to the neighborhoods and stuff like that. So it's good that we got a long episode. This is a good episode. I really liked catching.
yeah. This has been a good one. It's been really funny to hear people that are at the gym and even people that are new are like, dude, I've gone back and like I've been hearing from random people about like, I mean, not random, like they're all people that I know. I'm like, holy shit, you guys are the guys listening to this. I had no idea. Like, I mean, because like what we're doing with the podcast now, like we're just building a foundation,
Yeah,
and people are already liking what we're doing. Like we're just talking about, it's an old guy talking about martial arts and a young guy talking about martial arts and life, and people are liking it. So it's kind of cool to hear people like just be like, hey man, I'm inspired by what you guys said, and I'm like, I hate hearing my own voice. What the fuck did I say? What
like
the
people
fuck
are
did I say?
people are like watching it and coming into the gym that like you didn't know, like you never met
Well,
before.
like they're like people that are new, like so like the the new age we live in of social media is still very foreign to me.
Yeah,
Where like I forget that like, by happenstance, like when people investigate like a digital profile, like they find like when I have like the link to the podcast on stuff, like people follow it. I just go, oh yeah, I forget. Like that's a thing. They look at the person's following, like they see this person has a podcast attached to their file, like, oh, they'll go fucking watch it.
yeah,
They'll go listen to it. And so like there's a lot of new cats in here that just I see my Trev the punching bag profile. They follow the link to the podcast and they're like, dude, that was awesome. And I was like, what did I say? You tell. I don't know what I said. Like
yeah,
so.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's awesome. Yeah, this is just the foundation. We're just all we're doing is chopping it up over Zoom. It's like really nothing fancy or nothing structured. It's just like a chop it up, you know?
But that's what a podcast is, man. People chopping it up, and like, but I do love that you have questions ready for stuff. You ask people for questions. It's podcasting is definitely something that you can do with like with a foundation, but it's a very like loose foundation. You can do like a lot of different little things with a podcast, man, and still keep growing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. That's good. Yeah.
All right.
Even I like to go back and like listen or just like watch the old ones. We've been doing this since February, so it's coming up on a good
Is
amount of
that it?
time.
Feels like a whole fucking lifetime talking to you on these things.
You know what? It might be long.
Is it longer? I don't know. I don't care. It's a lot of fun though. It's fun to like catch up and just always see what you're doing. So
Yeah, heck yeah.
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 All right. I do got to get I do got to do my neurotic like it's so funny as I sit here, like all I can still notice are like little pieces of dust that fell like overnight, and I'm like, I gotta go fucking get that piece of dust. So I gotta do my last little pre-church service. And when I say church service, I'm not starting a church in here. Like we got the Raleigh sparring club thing in here. I just make it the joke like, hey, this is my church service for Sundays. I let strangers just fucking hit each other. It's the least I can do. So
Cool. All
yeah.
right, sounds good. I'm about to go to
All
sleep.
right, man. Well, it was great catching up. I'm really glad that I get to know when you're coming back because people have been asking, hey, when's Anish coming back? When's Anish coming back? Or people are going, who the fuck is Anish? And I'm like, just you wait. Like,
They have no
they don't
idea.
even fucking know. They don't even fucking know. Like, yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm excited. I told you I was thinking about keeping it a surprise and then surprise you, but I was gonna probably post on Instagram or something. So I thought I'd rather tell you and get your reaction live from the podcast.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that can be your post. Old man having heart attack.
There you go. All right, sounds good. I'll talk to you soon, Trevor. It's good chopping it
All
up,
right,
man.
man. I'll see you, buddy.
All right, thanks.